And welcome. My name is Givasomena. This is One on One. We told you our guest is already in the building, and he goes by the name Dr. Father Fredrick Njoroge. He is a lecturer at Moi University. He lectures matters to do with the communication studies. He's an expert in foreign relations. He's an expert in diplomacy, and also today he's going to be our analyst. We are doing a post-mortem on POTUS, Obama. And now Trump is being inaugurated today at 5:30. There will be a huge transition from Obama to Trump today. But let us discuss what is Obama's legacy. What will Obama be remembered for the last 8 years? Was Obama good for America? Was he not good enough? He's going to tell us. Karibu sana, Dr. Father Njoroge.
Yeah, thank you very much. Give us one minor.
Obama, apart from, when Obama stands and when Obama speaks, he has a huge presence, a huge presence. Regardless of what people say about him, what he has done, and what wrong things he has done. But when he stands, when he speaks to people, he has such a huge presence, and he carries the whole world. How can you describe Obama as a person?
First of all, I would like to say I am very much associated with American history to some extent. I have been going to America, the US, from 1998. That gives me about a period of about 18 years that I've been going to America. So I would say, and I've visited all parts of America, talk of Washington State, talk of Washington DC, I can be able to distinguish those two. Talk of New York, talk of California, Los Angeles, we call it the Golden State. Talk of Texas, talk of Wisconsin, that's where I really actually do stay. Talk of Michigan, talk of Ohio, where that was one of the swing states, as you recall, during these elections. And I remember during the convention, the Democrats convention, during the early 2000s, I might not be very precise with the dates, because I'm not American per se, but there's this good friend of mine, he's called Father John Parr. He comes from Wisconsin, which is actually called the America's Dairyland. It is the Wasingishu County of America. Yeah, they do farming, They are the leading in cheese making. And you don't want to say that they are the leading in beer drinking also. Because every single place you go, every place you go, in Wisconsin, you'll find, even right in the middle of the forest, you'll find a bar, and then you'll find a restaurant. That one, it's always there. They eat a lot of cheese. So during the early 2000s, when the Democrats had a convention, and I was sitting with my priest friend, Father John Parr, and we were watching the Democrats' convention. And the man was really taken aback when Barack Obama stood. He said, "This is going to be a man who will be a good president for America." Now, Father John Parr is Caucasian.
Yeah. He's
Caucasian. That means he's a white. Yeah. We are very, very good friends. There is no race distinction between the two of us. I'm black. He's we have been friends since 1998, and you just think that he's my big brother. I'm his small brother. But he was moved by Barack Obama's speech, and that speech was really a milestone for him. It just gave him, it was a stepping stone to bringing him into the presidency. So his eloquence is just out of this world. That is something that is so captivating. If you listen to his inaugural speech, when his acceptance speech when he was declared the president of America, when he spoke in Chicago. If you listen to and watch the speech that he gave again in Chicago, the Chicago is actually called the Windy City. When you go there, the wind just goes. At least our hair is intact, so our hair doesn't go. So his eloquence stands out. And then he's got, when you read about anticipating, Barack Obama and Trump, you see two different personalities.
Of course.
He's very charismatic. Obama is very charismatic. You know, when he speaks, he's got this air of charisma. You know, even if he's got a speech where he's going to speak for a few minutes, I mean, he's very good at it. I think I have learned, you know, from following him. He prefers writing his speeches.
Yeah.
You know, he prefers, because he's very confident with his English. He's very confident with his approach, and that is a different thing that you saw with George Bush. He was not eloquent. With the incoming Trump, he's not eloquent. In between here, we've got a very eloquent man, very charismatic, very personable. You know, he's somebody you just find yourself being attracted to.
Yeah.
So there is this air of attraction, and when he came in as a breath of fresh air. That is what America has enjoyed for the last 10 years.
And he was cool. People say, like the youth say, he oozes cool.
Yeah,
he's just cool.
Yeah, he's cool even when handling a situation. If you come with a problem, he's very calm about it.
Yeah.
That calmness also leads to his coolness. And then if you use the cool way, the way the people like saying, you look cool, man. Yeah. You look cool. So he was a really cool, a very cool guy. Yeah, very, very personable. I think a man who was liked generally. His personality was very attractive to almost everybody.
And even the way he walks. You remember when he came to Kenya, and he stands now coming down the stairs, and he's just start waving. And then he moves like 3 steps down, and then he stops, moves again, and then he comes down, climbs down, and then, you know, his looks, the way he walks.
Yeah, even the way he runs to the plane.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't want to say that Uhuru Kenyatta has taken after him, but I think I've been seeing Uhuru Kenyatta running to the plane. You know? Yeah, when the plane is, when he's just going up, I mean, when he's boarding the plane, he will just run, which has been very, very typical of Obama.
Yeah.
So, you know, he brought a presidency that is not so, doesn't look, you know, that's not so much up there, you know. It's a presidency that belongs to the people, which is really which is really also the ideology behind the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
It's more of a presidency for the people, but now when the Republicans come, there is a different aspect of the presidency. Yeah.
Now, I watched his farewell speech at Chicago the other day, and when he spoke, actually women were crying, and even fathers and mothers, they were all crying, and they were even shouting, "Can you run for the third term?" And he was saying, "I can't do that." I think they wanted him forever.
Yeah,
that's kind of a person.
That's the pain of democracy. You know, the pain of democracy is one time you like somebody so much, then his time comes. Yeah. Now we are talking about Gambia, the Gambia.
Yeah.
Right now the president is refused to come out.
Presidents actually Gambia.
But no, constitutionally right now we are talking of the one who was sworn in. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're seeing somebody wants to cling to power, which is a very big problem in most of our African nations. Yeah, people want to cling to power. People want to stay there forever. You have this group of supporters who keep pushing the idea that why don't you run? The same thing has happened in DRC. We have been having the Catholic Church there being on the front line in trying to tell the president, no, your time is over. We've been having the same thing in Rwanda. We've been having the same thing in Burundi. I think we should really learn from America to embrace democracy, you know, in its entirety.
And now, on that note, you remember last year when Obama came to Africa, particularly to Kenya, and then he went to Ethiopia. He's the first U.S. president to of course address AU as a president of the United States of America, and he reminded Kenyans and of course the whole of Africa, African leaders, that you can't be president forever. And he said he was very sure if he ran for a third term in the U.S., he would clinch, he would go to power. People like him, but then he said, you can't be there. I think he was telling Museveni, Mugabe, and the rest.
You cannot be there forever. It is better to make things short and sweet.
Yeah.
You just spoke of Ethiopia. I was there the other day, and I actually visited the AU headquarters. It's a masterpiece. They built the new offices are very well built, very, very attractive.
State of the art.
Yeah, state of the art. It's been done. The Chinese have done. They have done it very, very well compared to what was there previously. Yeah. So you know, the best way to be remembered is to do something within the time that you're given, and to do it well. Even when you come to Christianity, Jesus only lived 33 years.
Sure.
And his public ministry, what we read mainly in the scriptures, was only 3 years.
Yeah.
He made it short and sweet.
Yeah,
to the point.
People wanted him to live like forever.
Yeah. Those, especially his apostles kept saying, "Now, why don't you stay longer?"
Yeah.
He said, No. I have come to do what I'm supposed to do, and since I've accomplished, then I have to go back. I have to go back. Yeah? But now, you people, you can now continue. That's why I've made you my apostles. That's why I've made you my disciples. Yeah. So it is good to be given those terms, so that we can also give other people a chance.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, when you have in places where we have had some people are very good, even in our own country. Yeah. I mean, when President Daniel Arap Moi began, he was very good. People liked him. But then when he stayed too much, now people started disliking him. You know. Yeah. So Museveni really brought in a lot of fresh air in Uganda. But now, after he started staying for so long again, now people start losing the taste. Yeah. So we should really embrace democracy where we have these terms of office. In America, it's 4 years. Yeah. In our country, it's 5 years. Now, in the Gambia, it's 7 years. 7 years. They need to change the constitution there. Yeah. I would highly recommend. Yeah. So I would say that in a very short span, it is good that he goes home satisfied to a big extent. Definitely, when you're a leader, the critics will be there. Yeah. The critics will be there, and those are some of the things that that Trump would like now to. He would like to criticize the leadership of Obama by trying to do some few things or a number of things differently. So he goes home a victor. He goes home. As you have indicated there, I mean, as we have come to learn, especially the Obamacare, trying to help the common American who doesn't have access to insurance.
I think that's a huge thing.
To medical insurance.
I think if not the largest milestone, the largest milestone that he did, probably one of his largest. But I think 20 million commoners in the US. Of course, that's
half a country.
Half a country.
Yeah.
And he was able to do that. But now Trump wants to repeal the whole Obamacare.
Yeah, you see, I mean, depending on which party you belong, each party has got its own ideology. Yeah. And whenever you come in power, you come into power to try and disregard what the other different parties' ideologies were. Yeah. So I mean, it is obviously he would say that it is unfair to other Americans. It is like them who are paying for these. The rich are paying for the poor. Yeah. So the Republican Party has got it's more like you work for it yourself. Okay, you work for it yourself. If you cannot afford it, then we don't really have to come in and try.
It's a capitalist nation.
Yeah, it's a very capitalist. What is a very capitalist style of managing issues, especially the Republican Party. A bit of socialism, in the Democratic Party. A bit of thinking about the plight of the so-called common citizen. Yeah, and that's where the difference comes in, and that's why. What's his name there? Donald Trump would like to see this big change there. Yeah.
Of course, he's coming with a huge muscle. I don't know, huge muscles in the mouth. I don't know what he's going to do, but he looks to have a huge muscle. But we'll come to Trump later. Now, Obama and Africa. Obama in Africa. People. You of course you have people saying, of course, that the Democrats or the Republicans are much fairer to Africa and even Asia than even the Democrats. Now, how can you rate Obama relating with Africa, relating with Asia, relating with the Europe?
I would think there are mixed reactions. You remember in our country here, when Obama was elected president, the following day it was a public holiday.
Yeah, in Kenya.
Yeah, I mean, he was elevated to a very high level.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we stayed for so long without seeing Obama here. He didn't come because there was an issue of the ICC.
Yeah.
And definitely, so he kept coming around us. He went to Tanzania.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from that time, you know, we began to really have cold relations with Tanzania. So we felt like we did not really see the impact of Obama, and I would not really blame him, because if he did something for us, then chances would have been, or even if he came to visit Kenya during his first term, people would have said, now he's really thinking just about his homeland. Yeah. And remember about the argument about his origin. People are saying Kenya. He's not born in Hawaii. Yeah. So that thing, the whole of that thing, the first term was extremely, we didn't get the impact. But the second term, at least he made the visits when he came to Kenya, when he went to Ethiopia, and initially he had also gone to Ghana. He has done a lot of development he's helped Tanzania. When you go to Dar es Salaam, you'll see, among other places, because at least I went there, you'll see what the Americans have been doing. And there are these programs that have been promoted, where he has been investing a lot, and especially in the youth, when he came in the field of investments. So I would say that there has been an impact, especially in his last term, for Africa, in as far as Africa is concerned. Yeah, during the first term, it was not as much, but I think Ghana came out more smartly than other African nations, because they went through a very democratic process. There were no chaos in their country. America was very, very confident with Ghana and Tanzania. Say more lately, the impact has been felt. But we would say, I mean, still in other regimes, the Republicans have been doing their part in helping Africa and other developing nations, like those ones in Asia.
Now, Obama and Asia, you know, and then of course the issue of terrorism, especially the ISIS, the issue of the Islamophobia and everything. They say Obama seems to be soft. And of course they say, of course, he's a Muslim. I don't know. Is it debatable? Is he a Muslim?
I think what he says publicly is he's a Christian.
Oh yeah.
But people associate his name
with Muslim.
Barack with the Muslim, because he he was also in Indonesia. Yeah. So there's that part of the history. But his public appearance and his public affirmation is he's a Christian.
Now, of course, those people who associate him with Muslim, of course, they say he tends to be quite soft with the issue of terrorism, and he has never, like in the US, of course, there have been terrorism, but I think inside, not ISIS or other foreign militia actually going to fight, going to attack, but actually inside. But he has never mentioned radicalization. He has never mentioned that word, that these are radicalized militia, radicalized, I think, Islam, who are fighting America. He has never said that one.
America is a nation of all peoples. You'll see Christians are the majority, and all the other religions are also there. The Muslims are there. What Barack Obama has been doing is he's also been taking care of the Muslim in his own country who is innocent. So he's been using a very more of a consultative approach, more of an approach where we try to create dialogue, how we can be able to bring down terrorism. He also came and said he's going to clear the Guantanamo Bay, which he has done to some extent. He also promised that he was going to withdraw the American soldiers from Iraq, which he has greatly done, if not completely pulled out all the forces. And I think he has been trying to see how can we talk with the Muslims, how can we dialogue with these people so that we get out of terrorism. Terrorism is a menace. That is acceptable. But you see, his approach, what we would argue more about here is the approach of the Republicans, especially under the regime of George Bush Jr., and the approach of the Democrats on the approach, everybody agrees terrorism is a devil.
Yeah.
Terrorism is a devil.
Yeah.
I suffer I suffer as much every time I go to America. I know I am viewed. I'm looked at like this. You know, I look like a Somali. I look like a Muslim. I look like, you know. Yeah. I go through all the screening. I go through all the screening all the time. Yeah. And there's never been a time where I've seen that they have relaxed. They have relaxed their security. Their security, it's always a very painful experience for me, and to many other people. It's always very painful that you have your visa, which is your guarantee of going there. But then when you get there, you say, you know, everybody has to go through this. Sometimes there is some few people are selected, others pass through. You know, which is sometimes very unfair. But what we are saying is,
and the whites are done that also, like
everybody's done the same. Yeah. We all go through that screening where you go through that place and you put your hands up there, then that machine goes like this. Yeah. But during the initial stages, there was some bit of it was not very just. You know, you'd find some people are selected, some people, and I had some few issues. You know, when I would observe. You know, like one time I asked one of the security officials there in America, why do I have to go through this every single year? Yeah, like now I go through extra screening when everybody else is going to board the next plane. When I enter into America, I always go through an interrogation room like this. I'm interrogated. You know, I'm asked, you know, where are you going? When were you last here in America? Yeah. So because they would not like to relax their guard on terrorism. So the approach is what we would say, the approach is different. You're not going to, you know, George Bush talked like, you know, you talked very tough. And that was his big plus for getting his second term. The way he talked extremely tough. Yeah. But now, the approach of the Democrats, the approach of what's his name, Barack Obama, is very different.
The Republican seems to be using quite the force. They said they would crush Afghanistan, which they did. And of course, the other countries, Syria.
Yeah, most of the time that America has gone to war. Yeah. If we want to put it that way. Yeah. It's been under the regime of the Republicans. Yeah. That's why we would be very apprehensive now that Trump is coming in, because we would say, okay, we hope there is no other war somewhere else, because even if people sit down as United Nations, they agree we don't have enough evidence, like what happened with the invasion of Iraq. There was not there was no evidence, which Barack Obama came and said we didn't really have the evidence. America goes its own way. And it has done that, you know, during... there was one time when Iraq invaded Kuwait, or Kuwait. Then that time it had the United Nations blessings. Again, you know, coincidentally, it was during George Bush Senior regime. George Bush Senior regime,
Obama, what Obama said the other day, before, of course, he's leaving today, he said he has made a good deal with Iran to stop nuclear weapons without firing a shot. He's a diplomat.
Yeah, he's a diplomat. You know, he's you see, there are two personalities here. The one coming to take over is very combative. Yeah.
Looks like a soldier.
But you see, this man tries to use his legal experience. The legal experience is you bring forth your argument so that you come out winning with your argument. But the other one is, you have seen the way things are. If I don't do this, I mean, won't I be failing in America? Won't I be failing in America who are made worse, you know, so to say, in the Obama regime? Because I want to make America better again. I want to make people see the military prowess of America. But that's Obama is not seeing the military prowess. We have that military prowess, but can we use it in such a way that everybody appreciates? You know, like now Trump is coming in, his attitude towards NATO is different. His approach towards NATO, everybody is just apprehensive. NATO is apprehensive. We are all apprehensive. You know, Iran is now, the Iran issue, he said is going to disregard that agreement that was made during Obama's regime. So the approach is different. You know, there are many ways of killing. Do you say killing a cat?
A rat.
A rat. Or the cat would come and
We kill rats.
Yeah, the cat has 9 lives. Yeah. So there are so many ways of doing that. Just like we say, there are so many roads that lead to Rome, you know. Yeah. So let us use the most pacific, the most long-lasting solutions, the most embracive. That's what we should really do, and those are the aspects that Barack Obama used. He used those things that were more humane, so to say, as opposed to showing the might. Because when Trump comes in, he's trying to come and show the mightiness of the U.S. And he's what is his name there? Barack Obama is showing. He's showing the brotherliness, the goodness of the American, the big brother. I'm just a big brother. Yeah, you have an equal. We all have an equal. You can have your say, but now with this other one here, I have the say. You can listen.
Now, before we take a break, now Obama, how did America elect a black president? How? He's a black president in the a country full of whites. Britons. Of course, it's Britons. Of course, some of them are racist. But he, they fell in love with him. A Kenyan, someone from Kenya, Kogelo. They say Kogelo. They claim so. But of course, we know he's Kenyan. He's African. And then he's African American. And then he won elections in the U.S.
with a landslide. With a landslide. Yeah, with a landslide. Yeah. But you see, America is not. A very objective American views America as a land that belongs to all people, where everybody has an opportunity, everybody has a chance. And that is what Barack Obama took advantage of. He said, here I am, I'm gifted, I'm charismatic, I have leadership skills, I have helped Americans, I have given free legal services to people in the suburbs of Chicago. I've gone to one of the best, if not the best, university in the world. Yeah, I have the brains. But I have the brains and I can use them to better the American people. And here it's not so much the color. I think people look so much at the charisma and the person who was going to get them out of this gloominess of America, which was fighting terrorism so much, where everybody was just walking with a frown. We needed to relax our faces, and he looked the type that was going to help America relax itself, still stand out as a great America, but then still stand out as America, which is a relaxed nation, a very amiable and lovable nation. Yeah.
And he told them, yes, we can.
Yeah, yes, we can. And he ended his legacy by saying, yes, we did.
And he told them a lot of things like 20 million health insurance to commoners in the US. And so many things. He killed Osama bin Laden. He returned relations with Cuba.
Yes.
He fired a zero shot at Iran, but they made a deal. And said, the first time when I was telling you these things, that yes, we can, it looked like a movie.
It looked impossible.
But look here.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, yes, we did. And you remember, the book that he wrote, Audacity of Hope. Yeah. Be bold in being hopeful. Yeah. And at the end of this legacy, I think the international community is very happy with Obama. Yeah. They're just worried. What's next tomorrow?
What's next for Obama?
Yeah. How will the international relations be tomorrow? With President Donald Trump. Who is a tweeter. He tweets every time.
He's a Twitter fella.
Yeah.
Let's take a short break.
Okay.
Let's take a short break.
And they can send the tweets.
The whole world is going in that direction.
Yeah, it's going tweeting.
You must tweet. You better tweet because...
Can I tweet to my grandma?
You can tweet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Your smartphone. Okay. You better tweet because of course, the most powerful man in the whole world by today 5:30 is a Twitter fella. So who are you not to tweet?
Yeah.
So let's take a short break. When we come back, we discuss a transition from Obama to Donald Trump. Who is Donald Trump? What does Trump mean? And it looks like Trump. Oh Lord, don't Trump me. Don't Trump me.
Yeah.
Don't step on me.
Yeah, don't step on me. Yeah, we need to become an elephant now.
When we come back, don't go away.